Indiana is king of the hill in college football. What we saw last night and what this means for the Hoosier program going forward. We'll discuss that and a whole lot more right now. This is Offside Sports. Welcome to another episode of Offside Sports, live from the Loft 100 studios in Southern California. Presented by Turtlebox Audio. Check out their incredible lineup of portable speakers, turtleboxaudio.com. Also, thanks to Turf & Sons for the turf we sit upon. Turf & Sons, San Diego's #1 choice for turf installation. Find them at turfandsons.com. Sadly, the college football season team is now in the books, but I think all four of us, correct me if I'm wrong, we chose the Indiana Hoosiers to win it all. And as Allison pointed out to us right before we came on the air today, first team ever, 16-0 run to a national championship. And the Curt Cignetti aura or the story or the fable or the tale just continues to grow. Before we talk about the big win, here was Curt Cignetti last night after his Hoosiers knocked off Miami.
I'm really not thinking about the next game. I'm thinking about cracking open a beer.
And truth be told, that was him a couple games ago, but he said the same exact thing, not only on the field, but also in the press conference. Hey, what are you going to do? I'm going to crack open a beer. And it just goes to show you it's a very simple plan, Dave. Be prepared. Fight hard, be disciplined, you win football games.
It's the culture he's created, which is amazing. And it works in any sport, any level, any business. And what he's done, and I know every coach tries to create their own culture, completely impressed with what he did, more so than any coach I've seen in a long time. I'm going to, I think, surprise you. You're probably going to argue with me on what I'm going to say right now. What Indiana has done the last 2 years, and especially this year, is the most amazing thing I've seen in sports. Bigger than Miracle on Ice. And I know you're a hockey guy, and maybe it doesn't sound right for people who are saying you don't understand how big it was politically in 1980.
Yeah.
What the Indiana Hoosiers did this season is the most amazing thing I've seen in sports.
I agree.
CJ, Allison, you agree?
Yeah, completely.
Is it just because where Indiana was as far as that football program is concerned?
Yeah, and to do it in 2 years, to go undefeated, to bring a bunch of kids together that are, and I know some of them are older or whatever, but not 5 stars, no 5 stars.
Yeah.
And every team they played in the playoff run had 40 plus 5 stars, 4 and 5 stars. So
and more money.
And a lot more money. So there's so many aspects that make it Hallmark movie-ish.
It really
are.
Is.
From Fernando Mendoza's mom, that whole storyline, just there's so many moments that are just so big.
Siege, what'd you make of the game? What was the biggest surprise, and was there anything that shocked you in this game last night?
I think the biggest surprise to me was how Miami's defense really proved how good they were.
Yeah.
They held Indiana to their season low 317 total yards, which is completely unexpected for them to do in the national championship game. I mean, Indiana had more yards in their win against Ohio State, 344 yards. It blew my mind to see them really shut that offense down. And as Dave said, great moments are born from great opportunity, like Herb Brooks once said. And Curt Cignetti's beer after the game is reminding me a little bit of Andy Reid's cheeseburgers after his game. He's in good company.
No doubt. Yeah, they could be the biggest prima donnas on earth and don't talk to me or don't touch me, but they do what they do best and they stay in that lane. Curt Cignetti has never been anybody but Curt Cignetti, a guy who, was under Saban. And he'll say that the time he was at Alabama, he learned more about football than he had, learned
27 years.
In 27 years, Dave. And CJ, to your point about Miami's defense, the kid Bain, the defensive end, who, after the game, he took his pads and he gave them to his mom and dad, and that was the last time he was going to walk off the field as a Hurricane. I'm thinking to myself, if I am a pro scout, that kid did not stop last night until the game was over. And then when the game was over, he hugged all of the Indiana offensive linemen. I guess both defensive and offensive linemen came together at the game, in a shine of respect. But I was thinking to myself, that is the motor I want on my football team.
And he's going to be a top 10 pick.
Easily.
He's going to be a top 10 pick in the draft coming up. Two things stood out to me that I took away from the game. One was Mendoza took a hit that you could have thrown a penalty on. I would have thrown a penalty.
Was it the
one underneath
first
the chin?
quarter?
Yeah, he got bloody.
And I was like, well, not only get bloody, but you wonder, was he injured?
Yeah.
And it's easy to say as a head coach, he's a Heisman Trophy winner. He's led us the entire time. We're still going to stay with the Mendoza show, but he didn't. He went to the run. And not only did he go to the run against Miami, he went right up the middle over and over. It's the most basic football of up the middle, and it worked, and it wasn't about one guy. They stayed within the team aspect of what we can do to win, but when they needed Mendoza most, he was there and he was available. The other part, as far as he's talking about the movie part that I like, I always like the family stuff, is the end of the game when you're seeing the Mendoza family together. Did you see the grandmother behind the mom?
Yeah.
She was wearing number 16. She wasn't wearing 15. The star quarterback. She was wearing the backup quarterback's, his brother's jersey.
Yeah.
Because that's what grandmas are.
Yeah.
It's not about, hey, he's my grandson. He's a college quarterback.
Right.
They're all my grandkids, and I love them to death. It doesn't matter. Somebody has to support the other one. And she was there wearing 16. I thought it was cool.
The other thing when you were talking about the defense, I so agree with you. Miami brought their defense. But Fernando Mendoza did not flinch. He did not flinch. Did you guys see his arms after the game? I mean,
He looked like he'd played on an old school artificial turf field.
they were so bruised and battered. He did not flinch. And I think in that moment, he proved he's NFL ready.
Siege, people they get on him for his after game, and he's always thanking God and stuff, but it's who he is. This is not phony. It's not a facade. This is some guy who's a deviant scumbag off the field. Mendoza is Mendoza that you see, whether on the field or not. And you've played so many different sports. You're playing at the highest level right now as a baseball player. What's it like when you've got a guy like that on your team?
Yeah, he's authentic, and he can be a little...
Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Authentic is a really good way to describe it.
He can be a little cheesy sometimes when the helmet comes off.
Yeah.
But the thing was, and I'm glad you brought that hit up, because when he took that hit, and you can stand up and look at the ref and ask for a penalty and all that, but he got up, he's checked his lip, saw there was some blood, and he was on to the next play.
Yep.
Right.
And
it's tough.
And it's tough to do that.
As cheesy as he might be, he's also tough.
In that moment, he just stayed in the moment, and he's like, hey, on to the next play. And what can I do for my team now?
There was a steely-eyed look that came over him after he took that shot. And he'd taken shots in these games leading up to the championship last night. And then let's fast forward to the decisive play of the game where the QB sneak, and he takes it in, and he almost got bent in two, stretching the ball over the goal line. But
there could have been a herd of buffalo in front of him.
I guess
he
so.
He was not going to be stopped. It was insane.
So quickly, Allison, and then CJ, and then Dave, were there any point in the game that you're thinking, oh, geez, Miami's coming back and the dream's going to come to an end? Because I'll be honest with you, I had my doubts. When they had to finally punt it away, and up until the interception, I'm thinking, here we go.
Yeah, the last drive?
The last drive, they're going to win by 1 point. I was doubting. Were you doubting, Allison?
Yeah, in that moment, yes. I was not sitting down, I will tell you that.
Yeah.
I was very nervous. Yes, of course you're going to doubt that, because you've seen Carson Beck do that before, where they have gone down, and what they did it against Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So.
Did you think, or were you locked? You're like, no, Hoosiers going to do this?
I didn't, because I Googled Kirk Cignetti, and I was like, oh yeah, he wins. But then on the broadcast, they're building it up. They show Ray Lewis talking to Carson Beck again, just the same as he did against Ole Miss, and as you said.
Yeah.
And you're like, is he really about to go out there and take him down the field?
And the fact that they did it in Miami, And Allison, you mentioned on our show text the fact that the Hoosiers traveled so well. Diablo, were you doubting it, or you think?
No,
No,
I
they
thought
have it?
Indiana had it the whole time. I'll be honest with you. I know the score looked like a picture perfect to win by 1.
Right.
But I thought Indiana had it the whole time. I think Miami's going to reload. Beck's out, obviously, after 20 years in college.
Yeah.
And you hear the ovation when that interception. All those fans that you're cheering, that was coming from Georgia. University of Georgia couldn't have been happier to see that happen. But for Miami to steal Duke's quarterback for next year,
Yeah.
$10 million, they're going to just reload.
The conference championships are set after an incredible weekend of playoff football in the NFL. The aftermath brings a huge coaching vacancy for one team that lost and a quarterback change in Denver. We'll dive into all of the aspects of what's coming up next as Offside Sports rolls on. Keep it here. Offside Sports continues from the Loftwood Hunter Studios in Southern California, presented by Turtlebox Audio. Find their awesome lineup of portable speakers at turtleboxaudio.com. As always, thank you to Harry Arnett, Mark Wahlberg, and everybody at Municipal for being the official wardrobe sponsor of Offside Sports. Municipal, bet on yourself. Find them at municipal.com. CJ and I were talking before the show out in the kitchen area. And aside from, obviously, and we'll go in chronological order about the NFL games and the divisional playoffs, aside from the 49ers just getting curb stomped by Seattle, and obviously the Texans game against the Pats kind of unraveled as CJ Stroud did, the NFL is just, the cash registers they're full to begin with.
Yep.
The TV ratings from those other games, it's exactly, the whole league just must be overjoyed for what they got Saturday and Sunday.
That's not slowing down. It isn't. It's amazing. And everyone complains Roger Goodell makes $50 million a year.
There's a reason.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're complaining about. The product's never been better. and you know exactly when the game starts and when it's over. It's 3 hours.
Exactly.
I mean, the way they time this thing out is
Right.
amazing. I still can't figure that out, and I never miss a game.
Well,
I
and
mean, I
when you-
watch everything. It's incredible.
When we got 2 of the 4 games in overtime,
Yeah.
I mean, that tells you, that sort of was a a thing of the whole season. The whole season
Parody.
was like this. Yes.
Yeah.
And so then to see it come down to 2 of the 4 go into overtime, it's incredible. It was a great season.
Siege, Denver takes down Buffalo in overtime, 33-30. Josh Allen, once again, gets close to the brass ring, can't get it. He full-on breaks down in the post-game press conference. And then I don't know if this is insult to injury or he's happy about the move, but then the Bills fire Sean McDermott, their head coach. I personally, Dave, you thought this was going to happen. CJ, I did not see this coming.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills were one of 4 teams ever to win a playoff game 6 years in a row.
Yeah.
And you think about that and you're like, well, yeah, but they didn't win the big one. And I think there's so many franchises out there that would rather have won a playoff game in 6 years in a row than be the Jets or be these teams that
Or be the Raiders. Yeah.
Who, you're just like hoping for the number 1 pick. Now you're moving on from Sean McDermott. Where do you go? And you look around the league. Jim Harbaugh's gone. John Harbaugh's gone. There's been 10 coaching vacancies this year in the NFL. That's almost a third of the league.
Yeah. And you think John Harbaugh's kicking himself?
I don't know how John didn't see this coming. I mean, I swear, you look at the Buffalo Bills, and you could see the way this was going to shake out. This is one of the weaker Buffalo teams what they had in the past. In years past, Buffalo has spent a ton of money. One of those where you're watching as a fan of another team going, where's the money coming from? Because we've said it with the Dallas Cowboys for years, and eventually you have to pay the piper. Well, the Bills had to pay the piper. Their
Right.
defense struggled this year. So we go, okay, if they have to win, and they went further than a lot of people thought, didn't matter. They didn't win when they had all the talent in the world, And so, Josh Allen might be the best player in this league. And when he cries, if I'm a Bills fan, I'm like, enough. Like, that doesn't make me feel anything else. You're making $50 million a year to win.
Yeah.
And you aren't winning. So go cry somewhere else. Go
You got a
cry in your
cape on,
pillow.
Superman.
Go cry in front of the camera. Nobody feels bad. You fell
I
short.
felt bad.
I did feel bad for
I
Superman. I'm
did.
sorry, Dave.
Oh, not me.
I feel like
No.
he wants it so badly.
He does.
Clearly
Everyone does. There are guys who play for the Saints
Well,
that want it
he's
badly.
emotional. That's okay. I don't think John Harbaugh regrets it, and here's why.
Well, there's 100 million reasons why.
Well, he didn't even. Who knows what the Bills would have given him? But I think that he sees Jackson Dart. He's got this young quarterback that he can mold, and maybe that would be more appealing to him than going into somebody who's already been in the league a while now with Josh Allen.
That's valid.
You know, it
Yeah.
makes sense. Maybe he wants to develop this younger guy.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, CJ. Jackson Dart has 6 concussions as a rookie. When the phone rings, he might be at home answering the iron. I mean, we don't know what Jackson Dart's future
my
is. Josh
God.
Allen might be the best player in the league. How could he not win the Buffalo job?
I agree. I mean, he's solidified top quarterback in the league. That's hard to not take that job. Obviously, it wasn't there when he took the Giants job. But Allie, I don't think I believe you when you say that you're rooting for Josh Allen. I think you were just queuing up that Denver Broncos text to us.
Thank you.
100%.
Thank you,
You've
CJ.
just been all over them all year. And,
All
and
year.
credit to you because you really have.
You guys, day one, before week 1 of the NFL, I said,
Right.
watch out for Denver. And you two laughed out loud. I've never forgotten it. And I was like,
never
why are they
forgotten it.
laughing at me?
2 months ago.
But I remembered every week as they kept winning. I knew, and as I saw Bo Nix get better. Now,
You
this
have
week
been-
could be a little different.
Oh,
He
my
broke
God.
his ankle.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen a team win and lose that fast?
No.
Like the Broncos?
Could
Win
happen.
and then 10 minutes later lose?
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Broncos here in a second. Seahawks bludgeon the 49ers, 41-6. And the question for all three of you, and I was thinking about this, is this game different if Kittle, Bosa, and Fred Warner are completely healthy and in this game? Or was this, forget it, the Seahawks just, I mean, that was a steamroller.
Yeah, it was always Seahawks by a million. This team is so balanced on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
Now, if Kittle's out there, obviously if Fred Warner and those defensive guys are out there, sure, the game might be a little bit closer. But it's not like the Seahawks haven't run through good defenses all year.
Right.
You know? And now they're going on to face the Rams, and that's going to be, a great test of their 1-1 matchup that they've had this season. But I don't know. I think that the Niners just were a little inferior to the Seahawks.
Allison, you're a Bay Area gal. Who is it you made out with in the winery again? Matt Dillon? That's right.
Well, and Nick Cage,
And Nick Cage as
Sorry.
well.
Oh, boy.
who is really Nick Coppola, if we want to get into it.
Oh, boy.
I love this woman so much because she just puts up with so much grief from everybody else on this show. Did you think 49ers had a chance?
No, I did not. And I love the 49ers, but I did not think they had a chance. I think if you're asking about those particular players,
Yeah.
I think one in particular, and that's Fred Warner. I think that really, really hurt them down the stretch. Now, they held their own week after week with all these injuries. They were amazing, but I knew when they got to the Seahawks defense is fantastic, and they weren't going to shut that down.
C.J. Stroud picked a really bad day to have a really bad day. Patriots get past the Texans 28-16. And has your thoughts about him leading the team, getting the team over the hump, taking him to the next level changed based on what happened against New England?
Oh, my thoughts have stayed the exact same. Ever
that
since
guy.
his rookie season, C.J. Stroud has struggled the last 2 years. If I'm the Texans, I'm very concerned. You have everything else. You got a defense that's insane. Everything else, Nico Collins, if he was healthy, maybe it helps out a little bit more. But
Sure.
New England's really
They
tough
lose
to
Dalton
beat.
Schultz early to
Right.
tie it in with a calf injury.
Absolutely. But as far as C.J. Stroud goes, because remember the talk at his rookie year, man, they made a mistake. Bryce Young shouldn't have been the #1 pick. Right now, Bryce Young's the better quarterback. C.J. Stroud, major question marks, and he's coming up in the years, Mike, where you have to say, is he a $50 million a year guy? Are you going to invest that money?
Not
to
now.
Make a huge, yeah.
Do you think it's mental with him that he's in his head now?
I think, C.J. Allison, he absolutely got into, he could not get out of his head against the Patriots because it was just mistake.
I was going to say, I think it was completely physical. I mean, it was like the first play of the game. He has like a little 5-yard out route, and he completely misses the guy.
Yeah.
Now, maybe he's not used to the elements. I mean, it's cold, and credit to the Patriots because Josh McDaniels in that offense, they just decided, when we don't have good field position, let's run the ball, maybe get a first down on third down. But they're like, hey, we'll run, punt all day long and just play the field position game because they can't move the ball on us. and we don't want to give the ball away to them in negative territory and give C.J. Stroud an actual chance at scoring.
Allison, the Bears and the Rams in a classic there at New Soldier Field. Rams in overtime, 2017. Do you blame Caleb Williams for any of that game?
I do not. I think that final pass in overtime, to me, it looked as if the receiver ran the wrong route or there was a miscommunication. I mean, he just slowed down so much that allowed the interception to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think that was something that Caleb did necessarily wrong. I mean, I don't know what the exact call was, obviously, but to me, it looked like the way he slowed down and sort of stopped running. But can we just talk about that touchdown to get it to overtime? I mean, I was in a restaurant and the people I was with and the entire place, and most of the people there were Rams fans, but the entire place exploded. I mean, no one had ever seen, he's running backwards. I'm like, what's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? And then touchdown.
He threw a 50-yard, 14-yard pass.
He did.
I mean,
He was on the 14. It was all the way back to what, the 48?
Yeah, he never thrown a 50-yard pass.
And I think that even though they, they lost that game, I think that Caleb Williams really, really cemented the fact that he is the Bears guy.
I agree.
And I think he may be young still, and he may make a bad pass or make a mistake, but I think he and Ben Johnson are simpatico, and I think they realize that Caleb is the guy who we got this far. We'll go farther next time. There's a new sports tech out there called Tap to Interact from the company Digitize Your Brand. Their CEO, Rich Stein, and I caught up yesterday and talked about this technology and how it's growing in the sports and entertainment industries. My conversation with Rich is next as Offside Sports continues right after this. Offside Sports rolls on for the Loft 100 Studios. We're in Southern California, presented by Turtlebox Audio. You can find their turtleboxaudio.com, all their great speakers right there. This portion of the show, presented by Bebemos Tequila, made for those who chase the sun. Find your bottle at WeDrinkTequila.com. I had the chance to catch up with Rich Stein, the CEO and founder of Digitize Your Brand, and spoke with him about his technology called Tap to Interact and find out the amazing things he and the company are doing in sports and entertainment. Here's my chat with Rich. Hey, Rich, really appreciate the time you're making for us today here on Offside Sports. Before we get in depth about Tap to Interact, give me just the nickel version of your company, Digitize Your Brand.
Yeah, good to be here. So we are an interactive merchandise company. So we're taking a new spin on merch that's used for everything from, from a consumer perspective to activation activities, and we're integrating technology into the merch. And so the last 7, 8, 9 years, we've been building a platform and a supply chain of materials that are powered by NFC technology. So we've been working with all sorts of groups, companies, entities, venues, personalities, kind of trying to leverage this new merch, powered by Digitize Your Brand.
Talk to me about Tap to Interact. You mentioned merchandise, and certainly in the entertainment and sports industry, it is so pivotal and it is so, pardon the pun, woven into the fabric of both. People love merchandise. Talk about Tap to Interact.
Yeah, I mean, exactly to that point of we looked at merch, and forever I come from the merch kind of swag space, and it's all analog. It's all, kind of vanilla, right? It's like, what more can merch do? So we kind of looked at that and thought, what if merch could be interactive? What if merch can augment and complement your experience within, sports and entertainment? We all know we wear our merch because we love our teams, we love our personalities, we love our music, we love our venues. And we spend a lot of time, a lot of our discretionary income, right, is around those things we love. And merch is a big part of that. And so we looked at merch as what if merch could actually play a role and create a deeper connection. So Tap to Interact is literally the software platform we built that allows you to literally tap to an item and interact with it. And that can relate to all sorts of elements, from simple utilities like driving you to a website or Instagram, and also can go up to AI and blockchain, which we've recently done with Tap to Interact. So all sorts of possibilities with literally what your merch can do, and at the end of the day, really create an authentic experience for the fan, but ultimately serve stakeholders, with better data around how the merch is being used and leveraged from an engagement perspective.
How did this all start for you?
Well, I'm a fan first. I'm a fan of, you see behind me, fan of the Raiders and, all these teams. And I'm like, we spent so much time with, what we love and how we connect with it. I just thought there was a disconnect with fan engagement in terms of how the merch is used to really, hopefully, help me create my memories, save my memories, go back and relive them, connect deeper with what I love. And merch is a plays a huge role in that. But I never saw anything out there that literally kind of can combine the digital aspect of activation activities with your merch. So we kind of looked around and didn't see much with it. So we kind of built a company around that exact element. Is how do you make your merchandise interactive? And in our case, we've found this technology that literally can get, well, as you say, woven literally into labels, into and integrated into physical materials. And with the phone now, you can literally just go near it with your phone, and it launches you instantly to whatever that experience is that's connected to that.
When we first met, and this was a couple months ago, you gave me a Tap to Interact card, but you mentioned you can do it with your phone, so I'm sure it's all based on a code or a QR code. Give me the nickel version of a fan, what I can do if I have the Tap to Interact technology on my phone.
Yeah, I do want to say it's not a QR code. People sometimes say that.
Okay.
And a QR code is very basic. Like, you're not going to put that into a piece of apparel. You put it on a sign maybe.
Yeah.
But really, the affinity we have with our merchandise, and you think, a lot of clients and brands and entities have, brand books this thick of, what you could do with their branding. So literally, it's hidden inside the item. So it creates a more elegant use of the affinity for the brand, for the team, for the sponsor, for the venue. And then it's also smarter in terms of what you can connect into it.
Okay.
In terms of the like I said, all the way up to AI that can be connected into this in terms of, and also security is a huge element, dealing with, of course, consumer-based activation activities, security and this NFC tap technology, which is the same technology that we use for Apple Pay, Google Pay. Mobile ticketing in the entertainment sports industry is all about tapping to get into the venue. The digital car key is now being used NFC. So we saw that as an opportunity to leverage NFC, this tap technology, into physical materials. And from a fan engagement perspective, I think what they're getting out of it is authenticity, because only thing that gets tapped is if they choose to tap and engage with it.
Okay.
So as they tap something, they're really curating an experience.
Gotcha.
So we've done multiple experiences. For instance, we did stuff with Dr. Pepper and the Raiders, where you walked up to the Dr. Pepper booth, you had an interactive wristband, the Dr. Pepper person tapped it with their, and then they took your photo. Every game you could come check in with Dr. Pepper and the Raiders, and at the end of the year, you had a digital diary connected to your wristband of all your photos you got when you were at the Raider game.
Gotcha.
So it's weaved into all these opportunities to create authentic fan experiences, from photos to checking into sponsors to unlocking content from, certain, sports personalities, all the way up to, like I said, we just did an AI solution for the New York Mets, where ChatGPT gave out these lapel pins, and when you tapped it, it integrated into ChatGPT and came up with about 30 prompts around New York Mets history and affinity with the New York Mets, but it was all powered by ChatGPT through that little giveaway that they got as they walked through the, to the stadium.
Rich, you think about the future here, and and teams, and maybe for advertisers and marketers and stuff, it's so hard now to get a commercial in front of somebody, to get a spot in front of somebody, because we're dodging left and right. We want to go right to the content. We don't want to see the advertisement, et cetera, et cetera. Are they realizing, sports teams, entertainment, big business, are they realizing that this personal connection is the way to more or less kind of get that message circumvented in front of them, when me, the consumer, I don't even know what's happening?
Yeah, slowly but surely. That's kind of been our charter here, is trying to kind of bring this to the sports ecosystem. And so we've been, blocking and tackling, building brick by brick on these examples of how it can be used. And literally, this merchandise is an asset, right? The opportunity to integrate sponsorship, additional merchandise data into this is wide open. And we all now have our phone, which literally no friction for you to tap it. I think just the key is, of course, authenticity, right? You know, if you're a fan, make sure you're serving the fan correctly, because the fan will engage. We all know that, right? Fans are, you know, they'll do a ton of things. They'll wait in line forever to get that bobblehead. So
Yeah.
if you could weave in a piece of digital value for that, like you said, where really the sponsor is just kind of, you know, very complimentary. But now every time you go to connect into that or connect with the sponsor, you as a fan are getting something authentic to really accentuate your fandom. And that's kind of what we're trying to show these ecosystems is, you know, don't give out 45,000 rally towels just to give them out.
Right.
You look at the one up there, the pink one, that actually went to donation. So it's like, give out the rally towel. It's great. It's got branding on it, but literally you tap it with your phone and you can donate for breast cancer awareness. So use that authentically with what you're trying to drive, but leverage the merchandise as an asset. Ultimately, they'll make sure that, of course, it's authentic to the fan in terms of what they want, what's important to them, and how they can connect deeper. And they're going to, you know, connect all day long because, you know, we spend all our time and a lot of our time and energy, effort on cheering on our teams and kind of escaping from the world through sports and entertainment.
We got about 2 minutes left here, Rich. I'm assuming that there's got to be a multitude of avenues for Tap to interact when it comes to sports of all kinds.
Yeah, you know, we've done stuff in the professional ranks. We've doing a lot of stuff in the college space around NIL and activation activities, even down to the youth sector where it's how do you kind of accentuate how youth can, you know, get training, can connect with coaches, can connect with resources. So really, there is no limitation to this in terms of where it can apply, because what's awesome about it as well is it's very versatile. So I can go into pretty much any industry or any stakeholders within an industry, from a venue down to, you know, a league tournament level, and say, how do we leverage this? How do we, you know, create an experience that really someone leaves this experience and they could tap their item and get connected to all the cool, fun things they did, you know, from that experience itself. So like I said, it's all pretty versatile. We've done stuff in, like I said, professional, in all different sports as well. Of course, also on the B2B side, specifically for conferences and all sorts of avenues there. So at the end of the day, to your point, it's pretty unlimited.
Yeah.
And so now it's a matter of, you know, going on, you know, shows like this, trying to help kind of amplify the messaging and get people to kind of understand this isn't the future, this is the now, and this is ready and available. And, you know, we're looking forward to continuing to grow it.
If people are interested in contacting you and finding out more about this, what's the easiest way to do that?
www.tap2interact.com. Of course, you can call me direct if you want, 949-378-7542.
Rich, really appreciate the time. It's very exciting. I love the fact that as a Raider fan, you did something with the Raiders. Now, if you could do something with them about getting better on the field, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for jumping on Offside Sports today. Appreciate it. Our final segment here on Offside Sports, brought to you by Total Box Audio. Live free, listen louder. Find their amazing lineup of outdoor Bluetooth speakers, totalboxaudio.com. Big thank you to Paul Teran, everybody at 84 Lumber in Otay Mesa, California. Supplied us with the building materials for our brand new set. Reach out to Paul for all your building questions and needs. Paul.Teran at 84lumber.com. Okay, divisional round is over. 2 games left coming up this Sunday. NFC and the AFC Championship game. You've got Patriots are at the Broncos for the AFC Championship, NFC Championship. You've got the Rams at Seattle. And of course, 2 weeks after that, we have the Super Bowl. And then the very next day, we all go into a depressive funk because the NFL is over. But Dave, you always say it's a finite product. We know it's going to end. We know it's going to start. And we still get depressed as hell when the season is over because it absolutely has delivered. Let's look at the Rams at the Seahawks, and we'll get our picks for the AFC and NFC championships here in a second. I think at the outset, people would think this might be another one of those games where the Seahawks kind of run away for it. But Dave, I'm expecting a friggin' dogfight.
Me too.
Especially the Rams winning the way they did in Chicago.
Oh, me too. I mean, these are 2 teams that play obviously a couple times a year, every year.
Right.
The Rams have dominated this series until this year when Seattle won. Okay, so you look at the two games early on in the year. The Rams won at home in Los Angeles by 3. Jason Myers missed a game-time field goal at the end for Seattle. And if you remember the strange Seattle Rams game this year, where everyone thought the ball was dead, Charbonneau picks it up to hand it to the ref. Oh, that's a touchdown. And all of a sudden, Seattle wins the game. No one even knew it was a live ball. By the way, Charbonneau tears his ACL.
Yeah, he's
so
done.
he's out for the remainder of the year.
Right.
Anything can happen in this game. This, to me, is the best matchup, even whatever's going to be the Super Bowl. The matchup between the Rams, Seattle, I think, is the
That
best
was
game.
going to be my question. CJ, is this kind of going back to when the Cowboys and the 49ers were running roughshod in the 90s, and also the Patriots. Is this going to be our Super Bowl if you look at these two teams?
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into the Broncos game, but the Patriots are a pretty great game too. So maybe this is our Super Bowl. This might be the best game left, but
Yeah.
I think the Patriots are going to compete. I'm already saying they're going to the Super Bowl, but no, I'm excited for this game, and I think that something that's going to be a factor in this game, unlike it was in the Rams game against the Bears, is the weather.
Yeah.
And they're actually going to get good weather up there in Seattle. It's going to be a low of 33 and a high of 45, and it's going to be sunny. So maybe that's kind of cold for us.
Sure.
But football weather-wise, they're going to
Yeah.
be able to throw the football. So I think we're going to get some points in that one.
Well, quarterbacks will tell you, rain and snow, don't care. Wind, it wreaks havoc. Allison, do the Rams make a game of this, or could you see Seattle rolling?
I think it'll be a great game. I really do. I just think that Seahawks defense is so strong. I don't know. But then I look at the Rams offense and I think the same thing. So I don't know. It's going to be great. I can't.
How about Cooper Kupp?
I know.
Former Ram finally lose for Seattle.
I know. And you look at the Rams defense and they're not pushovers either. They've had guys that have just had incredible years. And I look at this game and my heart is with Sam Darnold. When you think of where his journey has taken him in the NFL, bounced around, Panther, Viking, 49er, Jet, and now he lands in Seattle with the team that he doesn't have to be the guy. He can just be a good football player. I think this is going to be a dogfight. CJ, I love the fact that we got good weather. Either team could blame it on, whoa, it started to rain or whatever. The Denver Broncos are going to be hosting the New England Patriots, and if you don't know, in overtime last week against Buffalo, Bo Nix, quarterback for the Denver Broncos, breaks a bone in his ankle, and I believe he had surgery yesterday, and he obviously is out of the playoffs. Backup Jarrett Stidham is going to be the starting quarterback for the Broncos, and CJ immediately I would think, oh my God, this just send the Patriots to the Super Bowl now. A backup quarterback who really hasn't had a number of important snaps this season, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Jarrett Stidham has, 5 career starts, and he hasn't thrown a ball since
2023.
2023.
All right, a little rusty.
But that Broncos defense is legit.
They better score 21 points.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, there's beauty in the fact that you haven't seen Jarrett Stidham play, and what are you going to game plan for?
Exactly. You don't have a lot of film on him.
Sean Payton didn't look nervous. He really didn't. He sort of had a little smirk on his face. So
Everything he has is little.
calling him Stiddy like he's just his guy, you know?
I know. It's like, come on, dude. Come on, Sean. Steady.
Has there ever been a better case for you? There are good quarterbacks that maybe necessarily aren't starters, but I guess if you don't get any playing time, maybe he's a good quarterback, but you don't get any playing time. But I feel like there are places for really good backup. There's enough players. You could have guys that could get some snaps. So you're not in this situation.
If he was any good, he'd be starting for an NFL team. He's just not. All right, the Denver defense is outstanding. It stinks for Bronco fans, honestly. You made it this far, and you really feel like you don't have a chance to compete. And I'm sorry, Mike Vrabel's a great coach, and the Patriots are playing outstanding football right now. But when you say you don't know what you're going to get, there's not a lot of film on him. He's not a knuckleball pitcher. I mean, he's throwing football. And so if he was any good, he would have been starting for an NFL team is the way I look at it. So if I was a Bronco fan, I'd be extremely frustrated that we made it this far. Now, I'll also say it's weird that your name has to be either Sean or Mike to coach in one of these games. right? Right? Kind of crazy. Give a shot on Mike on both sides.
That's
And
awesome.
also at the same time, you look at the family thing. The Kroenke family owns the Rams. Kroenke family and the Walmart family owns
Yeah.
the Broncos. Brother and sister
Yeah.
going at it on the other side. Well, that'd be a weird matchup. But right now, the Patriots have the easiest road I've ever seen by having this injury to Bo Nix, unfortunately.
It really did get it did get easy with Bo Nix going down in spite of the Broncos defense. Okay, it's time for us to put our money where our mouth is. Who were you going to pick to win the NFC and the AFC championships? Dave, we'll start with you. Who is our matchup in 2 weeks? And what is it Super Bowl LI?
60. Am I right on 60?
LI?
Yes.
I'm trying to do the Roman numeral, but I can't. Whatever. 60. Yeah. Who's going?
I think it's going to be well, either way, it would be a matchup we've seen before because I have the Patriots in it. The Rams faced the Patriots before, if you remember.
Sure.
We didn't even get into the Brandon Cooks play calling thing, but
Right.
the catch, not catch. But Brandon Cooks, people would have said if on the Rams would have held onto a ball, the Rams would have won the Super Bowl. Of course, he never holds on to anything. But I'm going to go with New England on the AFC side. I'm going to go with Seattle on the other side. And if you remember that Super Bowl where Seattle's about to win it, Pete
Should've
says, hey,
run
let's
it.
throw it one more
That's
time.
right.
But I'm going to go Seattle, New England. And real quick, quick question. I know we're short on time. Is it better to lose this championship game than to lose the Super Bowl? Like, how devastating is it to lose the Super Bowl compared to a championship game?
Oh my God! You can at least hang your hat on the fact that you got to play in a Super Bowl. To lose the game before you were that close and you don't know what the outcome of the Super Bowl was, I think it's losing the Super Bowl.
Or if you'll ever get back.
Or if you'll ever get back, that's true. Siege, who's your Super Bowl matchup?
I'm going with the same two teams that I called out in Week 6.
You did.
The Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. And fortunately, the New England Patriots have a little bit easier ride, but need Seattle to show up, and I think those two are going to the Super Bowl.
Allison?
It's going to kill me to say this, but I'm also going Seahawks Patriots. I feel so bad for my Broncos. I would definitely have them going if the injury hadn't happened to Bo Nix.
Yeah.
We are where we are.
I'm going with the Patriots. And you guys, I'm taking the Rams. I think the Rams are going to get it done in Seattle. Stranger things have happened. So I think we're going to go with the Los Angeles Rams. What are we going to bet on this week when it comes to Daily Fantasy? Daily Fantasy, the betting show presented by our friends at Owner's Box Daily Fantasy Sports. Sign up at ownersbox.com with our code Offside, or download the Owner's Box app. Sign up with our code Offside. Click on ownersbox.com. Start playing today. Last week, Allison lost. I lost. Dave lost. CJ Stubbs, the wins. Kenneth Walker went off. All right, Dave, who are you going with as far as your bet of the show?
All right, I'm going with my favorite player in the NFL to watch. It's Puka Nacua to have more than 91.5 receiving yards. I was glad I was able to grab him. First time Allison didn't hoard him. And I think it's a win this week for me.
Love it. CJ?
I'm going to plan on the Rams defense keeping everything in front of them, and I'm going to go with Jackson Smith and Jigba over 6.5 receptions.
Gotcha. Allison, who you going with there?
I'm going with Seahawks Cooper Kupp to have more than 29.5 receiving yards.
You got to figure going into this game, he wants to stick it to his former team, right?
Yeah, yes. And he had a great performance last week, and I feel like they're working him into the game more. And 29.5, like you always say, it could be one play.
I went a little different this time. I'm not going yards gained or receptions, yards and stuff like that. I'm going with rushing attempts, and I'm going to take Trevion Henderson, running back for the New England Patriots. He's going to get more than 9.5 attempts rushing the ball against what still is a good Denver Broncos defense. All right. As we put on this lid on this episode of Offside Sports, massive thank you to everybody here at Loft 100 Studios for making this show possible. Thanks to Turtlebox Audio, Municipal Clothing, Bebemos Tequila, Chase the Sun, and WeDrinkTequila.com, and 84 Lumber for their support and partnership, and Turf & Sons for the surface of our brand new stage. Click on turfandsons.com today. Most of all, thanks to you for hanging out with us. For Dave Palet, Allison Ratzlaff, and CJ Stubbs, I'm Mike Costa. We will see you next time.